Drive Guys, live and local, every afternoon, Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
You know I'm a huge Frank LaRosa fan.
Yes.
And I got to say, he just did his Golf to Go about how to take care of your golf shoes. Of
Yep.
all the Golf to Goes that he's ever done, that's certainly one of them. How about that? How to take care of your golf shoes.
Great advice right there, Whitey.
Better than the one about sunscreen.
Sunscreen. He did give us a 411 lesson on sunscreen.
I know. And here, he invited me to play
I was going to say,
this weekend.
You lucky Sean's coming here because we got to talk about that. That's a conversation down the show in the next 30 minutes or so.
Yeah, I take it back. Nice enough to join us now, NBA insider for Heavy.com, Sean Deveney. How are you today, Sean?
How are you guys?
We're doing
What's up,
fine.
Sean?
Yeah, and thank you for your time.
What's going on? That's my guy, Sean Deveney. We go way back.
Yeah,
Our days in Boston.
How far back?
Oh, shoot. 15 years or so?
15
Something
years.
like
I
that?
worked with Sean over at
Right.
Sporting News Radio.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, he was at Sporting
Yeah.
News. It's like, what,
Yeah.
2012 or something?
Okay.
How about that?
It's making me feel old, but that's all right. I like it.
we all old. Hey, Sean, what you think about last night, game one? Did you go to that? Were you in attendance last night?
Yeah, and it was probably everything that the Celtics could have hoped it would be. You know, I mean, everything that all the boxes they wanted to check, they got checked. And, you know, the defense was there, both on Luka and sort of daring the other players to beat them with their shooting, and they weren't able to do that. So you had that. You had Porzingis come in and really have an impact. So you got that box check, and the defense, was great. Of course, the shooting was there, and that's, you know, in the end, that's what this is going to come down to is how many games can the Celtics shoot about 40% from the 3-point line. They're going to do it at least 4 times, and when they do, they'll win the series.
Do you think we're headed for another short series?
Maybe 6 games, because like I said, the Celtics have a habit of beating themselves. You know, they're going to have a game where they have a clunker, they're not making shots, and you know, they've done that in the playoffs a couple times, and they did that during the regular season plenty of times. So I think that it'll happen at least once, and then possibly twice. So, you know, I could see this going 6 games, probably more likely 5, but yeah, you know, I mean, it's going to be tough for the Mavericks. If the Celtics are making their shots, there's no way the Mavericks can beat them. It's really going to. The Celtics' biggest competition here is themselves, no question.
Yeah, exactly. The Celtics will have to lose this series. I don't think the Mavericks can win this series. I want to ask you about Kyrie Irving, because you know the relationship Kyrie has with the city of Boston. He's on a historic losing streak right now to the Celtics. Just can't seem to buy a win against those guys. Why is life so difficult for Kyrie when he faces the Celtics?
Yeah, I thought he probably made a mistake by talking about it as much as he did coming into the series, because it looked to me like he was pressing. It looked to me like he really wanted to make a point, and he wanted to be the guy on the big stage. And of course, he goes out, and I think he was 0 for 7 from the 3-point line, 6 for 19 from the field. It looked to me like he had put too much pressure on himself, and if that's going to be the case, then you know, you've got to live up to it. And he just had struggled to do that in Boston. I think he comes back to the city and really feels like he has something to prove. I didn't think, you know, he said afterwards that he didn't think the reaction was that bad. I agreed. I didn't think it was, you know, that bad. It seemed like maybe people have moved on a little bit and have other fish to fry here. But I thought that by putting as much pressure on himself as he did, he kind of set himself up for the kind of game that he had in game 1.
Sean Deveney is with us, NBA insider, Heavy.com. Sean, I threw out a question earlier, and Drapes kind of came down on me pretty hard. So I know you've known him a long time, so you're going to side with him probably, and that's fine. I understand. But it's something that I threw out, and then we've had some response from listeners. Is it ridiculous to ask the question, is Jaylen Brown better than Jason Tatum?
I mean, it's not ridiculous in terms of, look, you know, Jaylen Brown does some things that that Jason Tatum's never going to be able to do in terms of, you know, sort of the grit and the toughness and some of the things he does that can spark a team, inspire a team a little bit. He probably does those things better, and no question that there are nights when he's better. But overall, the size that Jason Tatum has, the scoring ability, the ease with which he can score when he's working, when it's on, and really what he's done in the last couple of years to build out his game a little, especially since the 2022 finals, where when he wasn't scoring, he really had trouble having a big impact. He's become a much better passer. He's a very, very good rebounder. Doesn't get enough credit for that. And he's an excellent defensive player. So, overall, it's still Jason Tatum, no question. But I would concede that certainly there are nights. Look, there's nights when Jaylen Brown looks like one of the best 2 or 3 players in the league.
Right.
And like I say, there's things that he does that Jason Tatum just doesn't have in him. But overall, I think if you're rating the 2 games, I think you've got to put Tatum ahead.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Sean, and I was saying about Jason Tatum, and I probably used the wrong word because people jumped on my case about it. I said, at times it looks like he coasts, meaning, to your point, I feel like early Tatum was always trying to get buckets and didn't have much else. Like, I feel like now he lets the game come to him and gives the game what it needs. If they need a 30-piece, 40-piece, he can do that. If they need a 10 rebounds, he could do that. 7 assists, he can do that. Have you seen that maturity from Jason Tatum in that regard?
Yeah, I would agree with that. And last night was a perfect example. Everybody was at the trough, and Jason Tatum could have gone in there and tried to feed himself. He did take 16 shots, but that's not that many. Had the 5 assists. Went to the free throw line only a couple times. He wasn't forcing the issue. 3 for 7 from the 3-point line himself. He kind of just did what his team needs to do. And you do hear this narrative of he's got to win the MVP to really prove something. Well, no, he doesn't. They just got to win a championship. If you win a championship, who cares who wins the MVP? That's not what it's all about. If he wins a championship, he will have proven there won't be much left to say for him. People like to move the goalposts and put up all these different barriers to great players and how they define a great player. But yeah, Jason Tatum, you're right. It does look like he just. And that's what you want a great player to do, is just make the game easy. When they get in trouble, and Kyle, you know this, when they get in trouble is when they try to play hero ball, when they try to do it all themselves and not share the ball. It's been that way for 4, 5, 6 years now. So, really coasting is not a derogatory term for Jason Tatum. When he's playing like that, it just means, like you say, he's letting things come to him, which has not always been the case.
That's Kyle Draper apologist Sean Deveney.
That's my guy, man. We go with that.
I'm kidding. Sean, the whole thing here with the Lakers and Danny Hurley, do you think it would be an inspired hire for them if they're able to pull that off?
I don't think so. I keep hearing I was watching some things on ESPN and Fox this morning, and everybody was saying, wow, this would be to be able to get him out of Connecticut and get him to the Lakers, and he'll build a program there. And I was kind of like, what are we talking about here? We're talking about a coach who's never coached in the NBA. We're talking about a coach who's, been a fantastic college coach, but does so by, doing what college coaches do and kind of running things like a dictator, which he should. It's not a criticism. That's what you got to do at that level. Running things like a dictator, being very out front and in your face and all that stuff. And I just have a hard time believing that that's going to translate to the NBA. X's and O's, he's got that for sure. I don't know if he's got the demeanor. To take an unproven guy and say we're going to give him, possibly $100 million, 5 years and $100 million. There's something I'm not seeing here. And it's been strange to me, the way everybody seems to have jumped on board with this thing. And it doesn't seem like many people are saying, wait, you're going to do what now? Because you've got LeBron James for 2-3 more years tops. Don't you want somebody who has won? Don't you want somebody who is, you've got to take advantage, while you've got, while you still have a couple of years of prime LeBron James left.
So you would have hired JJ Redick then? I'm kidding.
That was just as strange to me.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing. I mean, really, to me, this all fell apart in 2019 when they tried for whatever reason lowball Ty Lue. I mean, that was the guy they wanted. That's the guy LeBron has thrived with, and really the only guy that LeBron has been able to stomach for more than 2 or 3 years. So to lowball him back in 2019, they wind up missing the boat on Monty Williams as well, and they wind up with their third choice, Frank Vogel, who led them to a championship in the bubble, but it was still a championship. And it really just nothing has been right since then. So Ty Lue is really the guy they should have gotten, but they really I'll never understand why they tried to lowball Ty Lue the way they did a few years ago. I think they've been paying the price ever since.
Sean, do you have a problem with them leaking that information and trying to upstage the finals?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, I'm surprised, frankly, that it stayed under wraps as long as it did. I mean, this is the NBA. We've got a bunch of chatty Cathys in all these front offices. It's amazing that nobody had leaked it before. And frankly, I don't know the exact ins and outs of all this. I think it only came out because Woj has a long history of covering UConn, and probably got it through that side of things rather than through the Lakers side of things. So I'm not sure that they leaked it that way. I think it might have come from the other side, frankly, just because of Woj's context. I can't say I know that for sure, but that's my guess.
Sean Deveney with us, and Sean, your boy Drapes has Sacramento in an uproar today because earlier today he reported that the Kings team store is selling, and this is true, the Kings team store this weekend is selling Malik Monk jerseys 20% off. And they've been doing all year, all summer long, they sell, different jerseys 20% off, so maybe it means nothing. Not to put you on the spot, but do you have any theory or any information on the latest on where Malik Monk could or maybe is expected to end up?
I think he winds up staying put. I think he's found a niche, a role if they could work it out. It's definitely proven to be the best place for him. He's gonna be on the open market. There's gonna be money, and there's gonna be teams that miss out, and so somebody might come up with something silly that the Kings can't match. But I think it'd be a shame because he's done so well there and sort of rebuilding his career. But certainly you've got to put that. You've got to possibly get yourself ready to sell your Malik Monk jerseys for maybe 50% off in the coming months. But I think he said it himself, in a perfect world he stays in Sacramento and hopefully they find a way to work that out.
Sean, we appreciate your time very much. Enjoy the weekend. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, guys.
All right, Sean. Thanks, bro.
Yeah,
all
thank you. When we come back, forget Kendrick versus Drake. We got Kendrick versus LeBron, which may be hotter. And if I'm not mistaken, there's a new look to the WNBA tonight. Is there something I've missed here? That's when we come right back.
Okay.
Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
I remember as if it were yesterday. I reached down to move a nightstand and was astonished at the weight of the piece. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. At that moment, I instantly recognized the difference between Naturewood's quality furniture that will last a lifetime versus lesser quality furniture found elsewhere. Now, I suppose there's a huge difference in what you'd put in your first apartment and what you would live with in the comfort of your own home. Right now, Naturewood Home Furnishings Made in USA sale is a great time to fill your home with solid, superior quality furniture to reflect your own love for life. With brands like Sam Moore, Stanton, Stickley, Hilltop Hickory, Simply Amish, and many more, Naturewood Home Furnishings has tables, chairs, couches, and, yes, nightstands, and more at their Made in USA sale. Find furniture that will be with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
It's Kyle Draper here to let you know that the famous Bay Area pizza company, Amici's East Coast Pizzeria, has just opened its first location in Sacramento, offering takeout and delivery to the greater Sacramento area. To check out the menu and order online, visit Amici's.com and click on the Sacramento banner. As a special deal, all this week, when you enter promo code SAC50 at checkout, they'll give you 50% off any large pizza. So when you want to enjoy half-price pizzas with family and friends this week, use promo code SAC50 at Amici's.com, and Amici's delivers.